It's vegan recipes with Pat and Emily.
Hello, thanks for joining me again on It's Vegan. This time we are going to be making apple brownies. And this is a recipe that my sister-in-law Lisa makes, and it's very simple to convert over to vegan. It had regular dairy butter in, so I'm going to be using vegan butter, and also the sugar content was 1.5 cups of sugar, and I thought that was higher than I would like, so I'm going to cut that back to 1 cup of sugar. And while we're talking about sugar, I wanted to let you know something that I found out. I was researching sugar because some sugar is processed through bone char, and as a vegan you may or may not want to use that, even though supposedly none of the bone char is in the actual sugar. But according to a vrg.org blog, they talked to Domino Sugar, and Domino said that Domino Sugar Florida crystals are completely bone char free if the lot number on the label is 1, 4, or 6. I'm going to bring the camera down and show you. If you look closely, you can see a 6. And this is the golden sugar. And originally when the golden sugar came out, it was not vegan, but I'm seeing a 6 here. Now the brown sugar, it's a little harder to see. I'll see if you can see it. The brown sugar has a 4. So this would mean that this is also vegan. The next thing we're doing is gathering our ingredients. I've got my chopped walnuts. I'm chopping apples now, and they're peeled, and this is about the size that I'm chopping them to. I need 1 cup. I don't know if 1 apple's going to do it in this case, or if I'm going to need to peel another apple. Now this recipe makes a 9x13 pan, so I'm not going to want to skimp on the apple. If that's not a full cup, then I will be cutting another apple. Okay, you can see it's a tiny bit short of a full cup. So off camera, I'm going to add a little bit more apple to that. The other thing that I did is I gathered my ingredients. So this is my brown sugar, coconut oil, vegan butter, and some vanilla. And I also gathered my flour, baking powder, and salt. With this, I stirred all together to incorporate the baking powder and the salt with all of the flour. This needs creamed, so I will be right back. I'm mixing this with my mixer, but it's a little grainy yet, so keep mixing until it's not grainy and it's fluffy. I've added my dry ingredients and my apples and the walnuts, and I'm just going to keep mixing it, trying to get it all incorporated together. It smells wonderful. I think that you would love the aroma. The next thing that we do is put this mixture into a lined 9x13 pan. I like using parchment paper. You could always forego that. Now spread this mixture out, make it as even as you can, and then I'm going to press it with this. Now we want this really pressed down good, so I'm going to borrow a trick that Emily taught me. Just get one of your measuring cups and press it down, and that helps flatten it and really compress it. You can see what a great job that measuring cup does. And now I'm going around with my fingers and my thumb to make sure that I have it nice and tight on the corners and sides. Okay, this is ready to go into the preheated oven. It's been preheated to 350 degrees, and it will bake about 30-35 minutes. I'll be back when it's done and show you what it looks like when it's baked. This is baked about 35 to 40 minutes, and you can tell it's finished baking because it's slightly brown on the top, and if you look at the corners and the sides, they're starting to pull away from the parchment paper. This is going to need to cool in the pan. The apple brownies have cooled about 10 minutes, and I'm just using this, and I'm going to cut them now. Now these should cool before you take them out of the pan, but I'm going to try to take one out and show you So that's what they look like. It's better if they cool completely, but they taste really good warm. You can still cut them, but you can see they're going to be a little bit of a crumbly type brownie. Well, here are those delicious apple brownies. They don't remind me of brownies at all, but they are so delicious with a cup of tea. And Lisa, thanks for sharing the recipe with me. You're just going to keep eating them and not want to stop. So we'll see you next week on It's Vegan.